our flight lead got hit in the tail rotor drive shaft, and this is like on the second or third pass. So we had to go back to the FARP because anytime somebody gets hit, you need to really check out the aircraft because you don't know what's. Mm-hmm. And he got back to the FARP and yeah, we can't fly this aircraft. So it was actually we had like a 4-hour mission window, and then another team would come up and replace us. So it was like, I think 30 minutes prior to us being replaced. So I think the next team took off early. Mm-hmm. But yeah, that was pretty eye-opening.
And how long was that deployment?
I was over there for 10 months at that time, but the battalion was there for a year. We left, I think we got extended a couple of weeks because they wanted us to cover the election, mm-hmm. the first election. We covered the second Battle of Fallujah.
Got it. So that had to be very intense.
They kind of kept us, some of our guys ended up going over the city. Most of the missions I flew were around the perimeter.
Got it. And what was the reason for that?
It was just, deconfliction of, mm-hmm. What was going on. The Marines were the major show in the city, so they had their idea of how they wanted to conduct CAS and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we did work for Marines around the perimeter, but most of the time we'd go out there and work with the Army guys that were supporting mm-hmm. the effort. We were flying along the Euphrates. One of our guys got shot up a boat that was full of ammo and guns, for the insurgents that were in the. So that's sort of why we're out there, mm-hmm. kind of like the anvil piece.
Interdict.
Yeah.
So you wrap up. So that deployment's 10 months long, and then you go back from that deployment, and then what's next?
Well, I knew. I kind of touch on it in the book. I kind of knew because I start off the book talking about the end of this deployment, like being down in Kuwait. We were there for a couple of weeks to mm-hmm. decompress before we went home.
That's not the best place for decompression.
No, it was pretty useless. All he did was make people mad. But we knew standing there based on what was going on when we left. I go, we're going to be back. Mm-hmm. So as soon as we got back, we got a new commander, and that kind of gave rise to the joke amongst some of the pilots about us being the reverse Pony Express.
What is the reverse Pony Express mean?
Well, the commanders in the Army, they before they take command, they go to some school mm-hmm. or they're basically taking a break. They're not in it like the people in the unit are. So there's people assigned to the unit that are there for years and years and years. So a commander's tour of duty is probably a couple of years.
Yeah, 2 years, yeah.
So the old commander, he's like, go, 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 like we got to, mm-hmm. glory of the Cav, all that kind of stuff. And he finishes up his command and does the high five with the new guy coming in, and that guy's go, go, go. And we're like, okay, when are we ever, we're the horse.
Yeah.
The horse stays the same and the rider changes. Yeah. That's why it's the reverse Pony Express.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing. I saw that very early in my career. I saw that because you'd see these commanders take over and they would want to, in some way, outdo their last, commander. So if the previous guy had done this many training operations, this is there's no war going on. So it's, if this guy did this many training operations, the new commander would want to do at least a few more than that guy did, and just raise the bar a little bit. So yeah, that is definitely their attitude when they're in there. And the other thing that's I've been talking about with civilian companies, military leadership. Like you don't have there's military leaders that get promoted up the ranks that are not good leaders, and they say, well, how does that happen? It's because they're only in that position for 2 years, and it takes the troops, 5 or 6 months to figure out, wait a second, this guy seems like he might be a jackass. Wait, should we be listening to this guy? This guy seems like, and then by the time you get to a year, you've confirmed like, oh yeah, this guy is definitely a jackass, but now we're getting ready for deployment. So we know it's going to cause a bunch of drama if we try and, usurp this guy's command. So we'll suck it up. And the troops on the ground are doing a good job because they want to do a good job because they're they're proud soldiers. And then that guy gets a good fitness report, even though he was terrible. And
Right.
but the troops were able to do a good job despite his leadership. And what happens? That guy gets promoted. So that definitely occurs. So you deploy, you come back, you get a new commander. Let's go again, and then it's back to Iraq again.
Right.
And then how long is this next deployment?
15 months.
And what's that one consist of? Or are we getting? Is this the one that we're getting into the book?
Yes.
So prior to that one, sounded like you got a good workup for this next deployment that you're going to do. You guys do you go to Fort Irwin, and you do, which is I don't know. For us, it's awesome training. Like when SEALs go up there to train, it's awesome because they have great, urban towns. They've got targets to be hit. They've got all these crazy role players that, speak Arabic, or at least at the time they were speaking Arabic. We have the army to interact with. They've got armor. We got aircraft. So for us, it's pretty awesome. What's it like for you guys?
Well, what a lot of people don't know, and a lot of pilots get frustrated because all these training center rotations, if it's in association with a brigade combat team, it's about training that brigade combat team. We as aviation are enablers and supporters. Mm-hmm. So if I get training out of it, I'm going to get training out of it regardless, but it's not focused on me for the most part.
Right.
And it can be frustrating at times because and I get it, because if the BCT is not getting its training, accomplishing its training goals because I killed the bad guy, because I saw him and then I killed him and I just wrecked their whole training iteration. I understand why, okay, we're just going to reset this and Apache guys, you can just go away now. And to be honest, like this training period before we went over the next time, we went to JRTC 2, which is in Louisiana. That was a little better, and it had more aviation-centric stuff for us to do. That we got better training over there, I believe.
So did you feel like you were taking some of the lessons that you guys had learned on the previous deployments to Iraq, and you're starting to be able to train at least towards those situations that you're going to be facing?
What's funny about that is when I saw some things over there that convinced me that we needed to be more joint, that we needed to be able to capture the assets that were already on the battlefield and use their abilities. Like there's F-16s up there nonstop. We weren't talking to them. That guy is just circling around at 10, 15, whatever altitude they're at, can use his optics and look for stuff that's not putting me at risk, and then we can use him better, or even use him at all. Mm-hmm. We weren't using them.
Right.